the evolution of testing. And I remember back in 95 is when I first started my career as a programmer. So back then the terminology, the roles, the title was more of a programmer than software engineers or software developers, right? So back then I remember, writing my first application for the company I work with. And at that time, when it comes to testing, you're actually doing, writing code. I was back then Visual Basic. So you would write the code and then hit play, to see how it works. And then you test it out as you go. So a lot of, remembering how that works was running code, I think F5, running code F5, and then trying it out as you go. So that was a form of testing. And once you're done with the application, you will hand it off to somebody else that will then test your end product. So they'll go to and install your application, for example, and they'll click through those things. And the testers was all very manual. Now that was back in 96. Fast forward to today, and we're looking at over 20 years of progression. And today, with the new events in technology in terms of, I would say, automation, a lot of those things are automated. I remember when I did my first automation script, it wasn't very elegant, but it was really cool. I was able to do more of a screen capture and then automating through the click through the text boxes and then putting in the values and testing it and then capturing any error that comes out. So that was 10, 15 years ago when we did things like that. So today you have a lot of those things that's available to you. The new tools that's available allow us to write better code. Today we look at code coverage. What is that? Pretty much just making sure that as you run through application, that it runs through every piece of code, every scenario is tested. You can do automated values injection, for example, to test the outcome, to test the expected outcome. So all those things are available today. So today, as a tester, that has changed. You do less of the manual testing as you would, and compared to what I would say an automation engineer does today. So automation engineer today is actually writing code to test code. So what does all this mean? So if I look back, it would take us a long time to test through an application. Now, back then when we were writing what's called a client-server application, a single application that doesn't interact with anything else, you're contained, right? And you test those things. Now, over the years, it becomes more and more complex. Applications has come more complex where they all integrate. So one change in one component of it would affect something else. So how do you test those things? So with the advancements of technology allows us to test those integrations. It just means that we have to put in time and effort into writing those automation tests. There are benefits of those because once you write it, the test in place, the next time as you write your code, you will run the same test on it to make sure you get the same results. So overall, I think the advancement has progressed to a point where we can get better quality out of the product that we write. What other impact have we seen with that? Is not only do we see increase in quality, but it becomes a little bit more complex as well, right? So the time spent in manual testing before, now you will spend time in writing the scripts. Skill sets has changed. What about time to market? How does that change? And again, it depends, right? Since you spend time in writing those tests, you would assume that we will add more time to the end of delivering, to the end goal or the timeline to deliver a product. But in reality, I think we look back is that, yes, you may add 10-15% of time writing the test, but you would save in the long run because guess what? You do less of manual testing. You're able to catch more, right? So it's a long-term view versus short-term view. The challenges today is that we have companies that has legacy applications, legacy code. So when you have that, what happens, right? So when you have a legacy application, it is not built, with the intention or with the ability to put in those testing code in there, so you can test less. So it's a challenge for most companies to migrate from a legacy into a new product. So a lot of developers, engineers, for example, like to write new products, brand new coding, right? Because then they can put in all these new technologies in play. So in the long run, with the new technology, it definitely is, if you want, 10, 15 years of quality in your product looking forward, and that's what you want to do. Now, there is some investment involved. You're adding cost to it. You're adding more skill set to it. So that's the change that's going to happen. So does time to market matter? Yes. Obviously, we all want to get our product out the door. Does quality matter? Yes. But you don't have to give up one or the other. So there is a balance. There is a good balance between enough testing and still get you good time to market. So that's the balance. That's the challenge that we all have today. Is the advancements of the way we do testing has allowed us to get better quality product and not get into the bind of sacrificing time to market. So my challenge for all of you out today is that look at quality as something that you can build. A quality is something that you can do at the same time as you meet time to market. So long term versus short term comes into play. It depends on how you're thinking, where you want to play, what space do you want to play. Are you looking for a long term for your company? Are you looking for a short term for company? What's the gain you're looking for? So there are trade-offs when you think of things like that. So that's the advancements of quality. The advancement of coding is also comes into play. So today, you can write a product and ship it the next day. Anybody can go at home and write a piece of code and ship a product. But is it scalable? Is it, has it been fully tested? I think it's easier when it's only one person doing the work and the application is smaller. But as time goes by, as application gets more complex and bigger, I think that one person doesn't work anymore, right? So it's kind of like trying to play football with one person, right? So advancement of quality, advancement of the way we test stuff has allowed us to get good quality product out the door. All right. So that's kind of my thoughts for this week, is looking back at how we used to do things before, where we're doing testing by hand, versus today where we write code to test code. Skill set has changed, tools has changed. So it's interesting to watch what's the next 20 years look like. One of the notion is, are we going into where code is writing code? Are we using code to write code? So that's more advancements. Looking forward to see what it looks like. All right, that's what I got for this week. Bye.